Good evening, everybody, and happy Saturday, October 22nd, 2022. I look a little tired because I took a nap earlier, and I've only been up for a little bit. When I woke up, I had to write out something else. That's why it woke me up. It's time for take a nap. We took a drive today. I got enough salt in my body so that we could take a drive. Bonus day 146. And went visiting, and I took one of the tops off of the Jeep, and the fall colors were amazing. I mean, what God does to paint the trees with the sun and the way the sun evolves on the tree at different phases is amazing. It truly is the most beautiful thing. So all the fresh air did us some good, but it wore me out. I was getting closer to like 5-ish, and I was like, I need a nap. Well, I slept for multiple hours, but that's okay. Um, so as my grab bag of symptoms continues on bonus day 146, as I said earlier, it's quite interesting when you type in a search engine how your head feels with a detailed description, what answer pops up. It's artificial intelligence, right? That's how the doctors give you a diagnosis anymore. They use one of these, or they go in their office. Oh, I'll be right back. I need to step in my office for a minute. Okay. So I'll link this, but the with this the detailed description of symptoms that I typed in, it came up with hydrocephalus, which is water on the brain. Whether or not this is in fact going on or not, I have zero fear. Why? Because even though I was told by my holistic doctor over a year ago, well over a year ago, about fluids in my brain, or on my brain, or around my brain, not once was he at all concerned. He's like, I got a remedy to fix it. Holistic medicine, purified water. Just saying. So it's incredible when you get a doctor that works to heal, not to kill what you encounter. My doctor, that's a holistic doctor, where insurance doesn't cover it, is fearless, just like I am. No wonder it's such a great match. Guessing it's time to stand on my head again or do some handstands. I don't know. At least my head thus far isn't in pain like when my doctor told me about the fluids over a year ago. So after I typed that, I kind of hung my head upside down. It did feel a lot better. I could feel, I kept kind of was shaking my head a little bit to see if I can't, shake them around a little bit, because when you start feeling stuff in your body, you try to do things to get it moving, because that's the one thing with fluids. You don't want them to sit idle in a place because they're toxic and they need to move. If they're causing you grief or they're causing you undue symptoms that don't parallel with your normal day-to-day stuff, well, they need to move to the point where you flush them out of your system on the royal throne. Just saying. So the pain miraculously has left. The daily the daily Jack in the Box list of symptoms that I used to have in my head. I mean, constantly my head hurt 24/7. Like, I was always like this constantly, because it just hurt to open my eyes. My head hurt so bad. So thank God, knock on wood. Here's a lamp, right? I'm gonna knock on some wood. He's gonna laugh. Anywho, but back then when the fluid in the brain was discussed, the pain level daily in my head hurt more than I ever want to remember. I could feel the pressure back then, thus hanging my head upside down helped. Here's a funny factual story. When I was having a ton of new symptoms, he had me do various exercises, touch my toes, do all kinds of weird things. And one of the things he had me do was hang my head over the side of the exam table to see if I had any additional weaknesses. And he made notes as I did the certain exercises. In addition to the additional weaknesses he discovered from these extra exercises he had me do during my session with him, my appointment, my follow-up visit, we found hanging my head upside down gained me a ton of relief. I even asked if I could hang my head upside down off the exam table longer because it felt so freaking good. Never was a fan of bats before. Now, however, I can now appreciate the metaphor, as hanging upside down for pain pressure relief is another key to relief of my ongoing symptoms. I felt like a tea kettle getting ready to explode every time I had hung my head upside down in the past. As another day playing the game Operation on myself continues, let's just face it, I would rather take my chances and try something holistic and off the wall on myself than trust / believe another tyrant regime member's illness title as they call in more poison pills I'm highly allergic to that are legal to prescribe. Wow. Ever think about that? Poison pills that only make you sicker, causing additional symptoms? Where's the responsibility in that? Genius, why didn't I think of that cash cow before? I know why. Because I don't have a criminal mind. That's why. Huge difference. Just saying. So doctors today, rather than assessing a body salt level, then attempting to bring it back to the desired level, FYI, each human body is unique. So everybody's salt level varies, while ridding human bodies of toxins. This tyrant regime makes you believe salt is bad for us, causing edema, thus attempting to convince you to eat very little or you will have edema fluid buildup. Oh, and drink tons of water while you're at it. Let's just get you quicker to kicking off because you drown in your own toxic fluid from the poison they prescribe you. That sums it up. The proper salt level causes your body to react in a positive light. Just saying. Using myself as a test monkey in this operation game in life, rather than relying on those in the corrupt medical systems, members of this ongoing tyrant regime yields positive results when listening to what your body tells you to do with it. So this ongoing game of operation, when you touch the outer edge, after attempting to strategically place an organ in the chamber / slot without touching, gives you a buzz. I think the nose lights up too. Startling you as you had previously held your hand so steady to not touch that lethal outer edge. If you have never played the game, check it out. So explain to me why you are still to this day, after everything you've heard and seen, for those of you still in conformance, allowing said doctors in the medical field to continue using their poison pills as you are their ongoing test monkey. When is enough enough? There's a Wall Street movie clip that I'm going to link that talks about how much is enough, and it is poetic with what's going on today. A gem from 1987, and it sounds so familiar, just like current day. Those whom tell the truth put messages in movies too. Movies aren't just for those with evil agendas, packed with subliminal messages. God finds a way to insert the missing link to help fill in those ongoing corrupt secret societies' tyrant regime plans. Their plans to execute a brainwashing so believable that humans, instead of fighting in their end of days, fight amongst each other, defending the tyrant regime. Then throw their hands in the air, giving up on life, and let hospice take over, or worse, end their life suddenly or tragically. Thus another win for them, not him, them, in their sick and twisted game of operation. Newsflash, I'm winning, because even though I have an ongoing grab bag of symptoms, I'm still alive on bonus day 146, debunking their so-called science that clearly lacks a conscience. Remember, Pinocchio lacked a conscience, and his nose grew as his lies piled up. Notice anyone's faces in this ongoing tyrant regime looking a little odd lately? I mean, their guilt written all over their faces as the lies keep piling up. Doesn't matter, they keep digging those holes, but they keep getting deeper and deeper. So by adjusting my salt intake, freeze more toxic fluids right out as waste. I eat a ton of saltine crackers now. They have become a source of income. Source of income. Good grief. Well, kind of, because they're keeping me alive. And what price do you put on your life? But they have become a source of nourishment for my body. It needs it. I truly believe it also limits the amount of poisons released in my body as well, since the ingredients in saltine crackers are minimal. Our bodies do not require much fuel to run, another one of their brainwashing techniques. So when you look at somebody like me that is constantly asking questions about um, of doctors about your health, and you don't like to take pills, especially not poison ones at that, especially not ones that cause you to go to a dark place in your mind, you really start noticing these ongoing list of symptoms, and then you realize, no, wait a minute, okay, what have I done differently with my diet? Why is edema worse today? It's not because I've been standing on my feet all day. It has nothing to do with it. It is strictly the level of salt in my body. And what's really interesting is yesterday I craved H2O, and I don't crave water daily. I don't drink it as per required 8 glasses a day. Oh, that's a bunch of horse shit. Excuse my language, but that's the truth. Just my tail end and the horse they rode in. That's the way I feel about this tyrant regime. So yesterday was the first day I craved water, and it's kind of trickled into the day too, so that's good. I noticed today too when I had some tears. I could taste salt in my tears. I had some. I'm sure this is too much information, but clear snot coming out of my nose, just clear liquids, because I had a sneezing fit from dusting here at my girlfriend's house, and it was salty. So my salt intake is increasing. Thus, today I started to get a little bit of edema. It's gone already. So my body is sweating it out. And something else I just discovered too is this ring that I've been wearing. I'm not sure, it's the new rose gold, but not an expensive ring by any means. I think I got it at Bell's Outlet in the Keys, Florida Keys. But what's really interesting is there's a chemical reaction when I put those plastic, almost surgical gloves on every time I wear them because my hands sweat. So I'm guessing when my hands sweat, it's emitting salt, which it did when anytime I did insanity workouts and in the sun and the heat, whatever, my hats always get a salt white residue on it because my body always had produced a ton of salt. So what's interesting is every time I take those gloves off, the the area all around my ring is discolored and brown. Well, now all of a sudden it's shining like it's brand new rose gold again. I looked at it, I went, what the heck? So I still haven't done the correlation with that, but that's a new development. That's just a kind of like a happy accident is the way I'm looking at it, because I kept looking at my finger going, why is this so dark? But it's almost like it was an anti-tarnishing glove or taking the tarnish right off. I don't know, but I think it needs to be combined with friction so that my hands sweat, because when I use them in those gloves, they always get hot and sweaty. I don't know, but I'll come back with some kind of correlation and some kind of scientific explanation as to why this all of a sudden no longer is darkened. No longer, I think oxidized would be the right word, but don't quote me on that. So, anyway, think about what I said. Think about your salt intake. Think about getting the toxins out of your body and really paying attention to what foods cause your body harm. It's not hard. If you invite something new into your body, especially a prescription, and your body reacts in not a positive light, then you need to eliminate it from your diet. It's real simple. If you go to a potluck and all of a sudden you go home that night and you're not feeling good, you need to assess what you ate at that potluck that you normally don't eat. And you need to get to the source and find out what was in there that your body said no. Now, that doesn't mean that what's toxic today is toxic tomorrow to you. Now, I am going to preface that with anything that's artificial is pure toxic. It's never going to be okay to put it in your body. Your body does not want it. But when your body starts healing itself, you can take small doses without it affecting it to where you look like an obese person. That's my best description. Because when you're altering the salt and you're using artificial to increase your salt level, yet the doctors are saying you don't need salt in your diet, then you need to drink tons of water. We'll give you water pills. I mean, there's all these options that they come up with. So I just want you to think outside the box like I've been doing. Ever since I got sick, I'm not one to listen to what man has to say and go with it. And the more I uncover in the Geneva Bible, the more questions I ask and the more research I do. So by me really getting to the bottom of this whole salt intake and how it says if you lose your saltiness in the Bible, you'll be trodden by men. Well, what else would they want? They want to control you like their little test monkey, poison you, and then your end of days. So despite me and looking at all their quote unquote end of days, I don't fear death. I'm enjoying this ride of proving them wrong by increasing my salt. Even though people keep looking at me, oh, it's because you eat too much salt. No, I don't have enough in my body. But I do today. Today I'm in good shape. I mean, my face looks better. My face was getting puffy up here, which would go with my head and the fluid in my head feeling. So that nap helped. Plus, I went to the restroom again to help get flush the fluids out of my body. So I just as things pop up, I'm gonna want to share them, and who knows what time that's gonna be. But this is important. I think it's very important for people to uncover the magnitude of salt intake and getting your salt at the right level for your body. I don't care what the norm is. When I know I've got a healthy heart and my EKGs look perfect, I know I don't have to worry about that. I don't need to worry about my temperature being 88.1. I think I got to 89.1 and at one point was 90.2, I think, or something like that earlier today. Those numbers don't scare me. My blood pressure, if I get it up in the 200s, I just look at it and laugh. I'm like, really? I'm still here. And you said I'd have a heart attack. No, na 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 na. What else you got? When you play the game, you got to know. Let's see. As my client said, you got to know the rules in order to break them intelligently. So when you play a game, you got to know the rules. But you also got to think outside the box. And I'm not one to conform to their pretty little neat little box because their little box contains poison pills and they laugh themselves all the way to the bank. No thanks. Earlier today in my Geneva Bible, I read about pensions. In the Apocrypha that has been eliminated. And it says, give pension and wages to them that kept the city. Give them. It doesn't say you have to pay into them. It says give them pensions. Just saying. See, just when they eliminate stuff that's important, you get to the facts. And if I'm here to teach on bonus day 146, I'm going to understand the facts and I'm going to teach them to each and every one of you. or at least to those who want to listen. So, hope you enjoyed this video. I'm not sure I'll have another one tonight, but Lord only knows what he's got on my agenda next. So, love to all bunches and bunches. Bye now.